I watched the last interview. I was chewing gum the whole time. It was terrible. All right, go ahead.
So at halftime, did you just walk up to Eno and say, just go do it, guy?
Yeah, I don't know why, but we just had a lot of miscues in the first half, and we came in the second half and said, man, we're going to take all of the guesswork out of it and play big boy football like we're capable of doing and just run over them. That's all what we wanted to do, and we did that in the second half.
So look at the issues of the passing game. Is just like a lot of coverage that causing issues?
No, not really. It was a tough game, man. It's a rivalry game. You can throw everything out the window, and it's always tough. It's just always tough. And then Brandon went out, and missed the most of the fourth quarter, and he was hurt and hobbled. He was hobbling all week in practice, and we knew it was just going to be tough to get him through the game, and wanted to get him a couple catches and all that stuff. And and then we had a lot of miscues in the first half. We dropped 3 balls. We had a mishandled. It just seemed like everything was going wrong in the first half. And there's one thing I've learned: you want to get rid of all of that little minor stuff. Just play smash mouth football and run it right down their throat.
Was Brandon nicked up in the Oregon game?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. He was just really, his body, it just took a lot out of him. He was really sore. And then he kind of got hit somewhere in the lower part of his body, and he was really hobbling around, man. He couldn't run full speed.
So when you say that and you come out and do what you did to start the third quarter, you really set the tone for the rest of the game.
Oh, that's right. And, it's kind of like went back. You have no idea how good that felt going back to some of my roots in the triple option, and we ran the belly G there a little bit and smashed them in the I don't think you're allowed to say that anymore, but we ran the ball really well. So we'll say that. And like I said, we played big boy football, and, man, does that feel good. It's very satisfying.
Do you feel the way you ran the ball against Oregon last week really gave you the confidence the offensive line could block as well?
Yeah, absolutely. And Dave Christensen and all the coaches did a great job. We watched the film. They were playing bear. It's just not as easy as people think to just, hey, let's run the football. Well, people line up in defenses that can stop inside run. And so you have to adjust, and you got to get the ball out on the perimeter. Last week was more so of a personnel, those guys were big and strong and can manhandle us. That wasn't the case in this game. It was more structure, where they were going in a bear front, and so that stops the zone a little bit, and it makes it really hard to run the ball in between the tackles. So we had a really good scheme going into the game. It just seemed like we could never get to it. We were always behind the sticks and getting a 2nd and 15. We were doing something wrong in the first half, and we came in and just told them that, guys, eliminate all that stuff, and we're going to be just fine.
So were you okay in the first half with with the passion, the intensity that the guys had? It was just immense.
Yeah, and you know what happens? It's like in baseball when you face a really great pitcher, everybody goes, oh, man, those guys, they didn't seem like they were in it. Well, no, that pitcher's doing a really good job. And it's the same thing when you start having miscues on offense. Everybody just looks around. We were just taking turns messing up, and that just sucks the air out of everything. And we just knew all we needed was either one big play or, heck with that, we were just going to run it,
Was that the thing coming out of halftime, that you were just going to run the ball until they couldn't?
Yes, absolutely. It? Yeah.
So to have Eno as the guy getting the ball, a veteran guy that's done everything he's done, that's a good point person.
No, absolutely. We have him. We know what he's capable of doing. We do have 3 seniors up on the actually 4 seniors up on the offensive line. I know you guys found out LD was out and got poked in the eye during practice this week and thought he was going to play, but then he couldn't play. It was a little tough, moving the offensive line around a little bit, but we did it. But like you said, we knew what we have in Eno, and I know that Cole and Steve and Alex and Roy and Donovan, those guys just weren't going to be denied this game, and I felt really good going into the second half that we could just ride those guys.
Obviously, speculation, Benjamin might declare the NFL draft, may even skip the ball game because of that. If this was the last game you coached, Benjamin, what a sweet memory was it?
Oh, I'm tell you what, and he sent me a beautiful text this morning when I woke up to that text, and it really, hit my heart. Because I offered, like I said, back when he was in the 9th grade, he reminded me of Walter Payton. The first time I saw him, I looked at him, I watched how violent he ran, and I said, man, that's Walter Payton Jr. right there. Love that kid, everything that he's done, and, we'll see what decision he makes. I'm behind him, whatever he wants to do, I love him.
What was that text that he sent you? What was that text?
It was just a text saying thank you for everything. You helped me live out my dream and things like that. And it was just really awesome. It really touched my heart.
Did you feel that the run game then opened up a few other things for you as you went along?
Oh, yeah. Like, I was watching. We could have thrown a post for a touchdown, like, anytime we wanted to in that fourth quarter. Like, I felt like but then I was like, well, we're getting 6 yards a carry or 5. Why even take the chance? And we were up by that many scores, and so there's really no reason to take that chance. But I just know, I felt like we could have scored 38 points, tonight. But we got up by 3 scores, and so we're just going to grind it out and eat clock and try to just win the game.
What do you think about how you guys did in the 12 personnel looks, and then also getting Jaden to roll out?
Yeah, that was we trying to get him out on the perimeter early, just like we did in the Oregon game, because that's what he does. And thought we did a better job in the second half. We just got ourselves in bad down and distances in the first half with miscues, and you just can't. Man, it's hard to call plays when you're 3rd and 15 and 2nd and 15. It's hard, man. And they were dropping 8, and you're trying to throw the ball, and it's just really tough. But the 12 personnel plan, which all the coaches, Charlie Fisher and Donnie Yanis and Sean Aguano, those guys did a great job. We all got together this week and said, man, I don't care what formation we got to get in, personnel grouping, let's win this football game, and came up with a good game plan.
The young offensive line, it hasn't been easy for even though he's put up big numbers.
That's right.
How has he handled that throughout the season?
Early it was really a struggle because, obviously with what he did, over 1,600 yards rushing last year, he had a lot of expectations coming into the season, and I'm sure he heard it from family members, friends, everywhere you look, everybody's wanting a repeat performance. That's hard to do, man. And then with the young offensive line, so early, I think he really struggled with that, is like we all would. And then as the season went, I just saw him grow up, and he came to me and he said, Coach, I just want to win. I just want to win games. I don't really care anymore about all this stuff. And so, he just kind of let it go. And then you kind of saw a different kid in the way he ran the football in these last several games. He did a really good job. I'm so proud of him.
What do you think attributed to letting that go? Is there a turning point, you feel like?
Well, you just it's priorities, and you got to say to yourself, okay, man, it's a decision that a ball player makes. All right, do I go after the self, accolades, or am I a brother to these guys that I bleed with and sweat with and I've been around with and I go through all of this stuff? What decision am I going to make? And you know what? To his credit, he decided that he wanted to be a great teammate, and he wanted ASU to win above his accolades. And I saw him do that, and I just thought it was outstanding character for that young man.
He did get over 1,000 yards tonight for the season.
Yeah.
So it's not like he's.
I know, right? That's expectations, and you could see, coming into the season, everybody has these expectations. And I told you guys early, I've had 2 experiences with true freshman quarterbacks, and I went 0-12 and 1-11. Okay, so we just won 7 games, and we're going to a bowl game with 2 freshman offensive linemen and a freshman quarterback. I mean, that's a pretty good job all around. And obviously, our defense. I mean, we don't do it without our defense. They played great tonight, and our defense gave us the chance to win. We good?
Appreciate it.
All right, go celebrate, guys. Let's go.